This is Abia COVID-19 update.
Abia COVID-19 update.
Well, for those who still need to go out to work, it is important to practice as much social distancing as your office space allows. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water and use an alcohol-based sanitizer, and limit the number of visitors or meetings you have in your office. Also, do not forget to educate your office cleaner, security personnel and other staff about the coronavirus and how they can prevent it. We should all be informed. It is called social distancing. But what this really calls for is physical distancing. We can still be social but maintain our physical distance. Instead of having friends and family visit, please take advantage of social media to keep in touch with them. This is an opportunity to reconnect with family members and friends. It's another edition of the program. It is the second edition for the month of July, Abia State COVID-19 update. My name is Michael Oni. On this program, we highlight daily reports of the Interministerial Committee on the Control of COVID-19, as well as Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu's efforts in ensuring that the state is safe from the virus. This program is running simultaneously every weekday, Mondays through Fridays, on several radio stations in the state, on BCA 88.1 FM, Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, all in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State. We're also live on Bars 89.7 FM and Rio 99.1 FM, both in Aba, the commercial capital of the state. Global number of deaths. Let's take a look at the number of deaths and, of course, the figures of coronavirus and, of course, the recovery rates, and also the number of cases recovered, number of cases reported globally. The global number of deaths is standing at 519,265 as at 8 a.m. today. Meanwhile, the total number of infections worldwide stands at 10,421,494. Also, the number of recovered cases is at 6,040,304 anyways, and those figures are as at 8 a.m. today. Brazil reported the highest one-day case spike, that was yesterday, with 32,000 new cases, followed by the United States that reported more than 49,000 fresh infections. The two nations are the world's worst affected by the pandemic, as the United States reported its biggest single-day spike since the pandemic began in the country yesterday. Government's top health experts has warned that the U.S. could start witnessing 100,000 new cases unless a national plan to curb the virus comes into the picture. Now, Nigeria recorded its new highest daily figure also yesterday, confirmed COVID-19 cases. 790 new infections were announced by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. With this latest update, the total tally of infected people in the country rose to 26,484. Previously, the highest daily COVID-19 cases was 779, if you can remember. That was recorded on the 28th of June. 13 deaths were recorded from the virus yesterday, bringing the total number of confirmed deaths from the virus to 603. The new cases were reported in 21 states. Delta State reported the highest figure. And of course, Lagos State remains the epicenter of the disease in the country. 790 new cases reported from 21 states. I will break it down now. Delta State reported the highest with 166. Lagos State with 120. Enugu State with 66. Federal Capital Territory with 65. Edo State with 60. Ogun State with 43. Kano State with 41, Kaduna State with 39, Ondo State with 33, Rivers State with 32, Bayelsa State with 29, Katsina State with 21, Imo State with 20, Kwara State with 18, Oyo State with 11. And yesterday, Abia State recorded 10 new cases. Benue State with 6, Gombe State with 4, Yobe State with 2, Bauchi State with 2, and Kebbi State with 2. Till date, there are 26,484 cases that have been confirmed in Nigeria. 15,000, over 15,000 of those cases, 15,729 are active cases. 10,152 cases have been discharged, and 603 deaths have been recorded in 35 states and the Federal Capital Territory. 138,462 samples have so far been tested. Now, in recent time, we have noticed a marked increase in the number of people testing positive into COVID-19 in Abia State. And this can be attributed to community transmission as well as increased testing. And in the coming days, many more citizens are expected to be tested, and consequently, the numbers may go higher. But the Abia State government, through the State Interministerial Committee on COVID-19, made some decisions, which I would let you know this morning. I had a conversation earlier this morning with the Secretary to Abia State Government and also the Chairman of the Interministerial Committee on COVID-19, Barrister Chris Ezem, and he highlighted some of those protocols. There was a review at the national level and some decisions were taken. It trickled down to the state, and of course some of those decisions have been implemented right here in Abia State. So in the coming days, there are some protocols that we should follow. So in this conversation I had with the Secretary to the Abia State Government and also the Chairman of the Abia State Interministerial Committee on COVID-19, Barrister Chris Ezem, he highlighted some of those protocols. Listen to him.
This is Abia COVID-19 update.
Abia COVID-19 update.
I want you to take us through some of the new guidelines that were decided by the Abia State government through the Interministerial Committee on COVID-19.
We have to work in tandem with federal government directives. And based on the new directive, the borders were opened yesterday. You are very much aware of that.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
And based on that, we're probably going to let our borders open. But in keeping our borders open, we're going to take further measures. The further measures will be to ensure that we provide digital thermometers at our borders. We are making arrangements for that. And to ensure that we screen all interstate bound passengers. And anyone that fails the screening will be returned back or will be kept at the nearest holding bay. That's what we want to do. And going forward on transportation, we will still maintain our limited numbers as it affects Keke 2, KBK minibus 5, higher 7, coastal maximum 4. And strictly, we are saying that in all those interstate travels and movements, everybody, passenger, driver must wear their face masks. We will ensure that face masks is compulsorily enforced. And we're going to direct all the local government enforcement team and security agents to ensure that enforcement of face masks is made a very compulsory thing and taken very seriously. With respect to burials, wedding, and other public gatherings, we issue permits for such. And those permits are to be obtained, made through the relevant local governments, and then to SLG's office, who will give approval. No burials, no weddings, no public gatherings will exceed 50 persons at a time. And then all of them will be required to put on their face masks and observe other relevant COVID-19 protocols. Any violation of such will attract serious consequences, including disruption of the events and prosecution of the relevant courts. We are going to expand our market period from Monday, Wednesdays to Fridays to now run from Mondays to Fridays, and the timing will now be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But remember, in all that, both markets, both transportation and movements are all subject to the coffee time of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. That will still apply. Our markets are going to operate in that way to avoid continuous overcrowding, and then we expect that the markets will comply with the regular hygiene, minimum hygiene of provision of washing facilities, regular fumigation, and compulsory wearing of face masks. And to ensure that these things are present and are complied with, there will be checks 3 times per week from the enforcement teams. We are equally considering and working out modalities for our schools as it affects the examination classes of primary 6, GSS 3, and SS 3 students. The protocols for reopening these examination classes will be rolled out in the next few days. We want to ensure that our people, as they come in to write their exams, will not be exposed to greater risk. And then we will do all we can to provide the necessary environment that will keep these people safe as they write their exams and go back home. These are the new protocols that will run in this from now. And compulsory wearing of face masks is not negotiable. It's not negotiable. We'll keep doing our best to ensure that Abia remains safe. And we urge everybody to remain disciplined and observe these protocols, because the times ahead are not going to be easy times, with issue of lifting of ban on airlines, lifting of ban on interstate, and all you have. So people need to be more cautious. People need to be more disciplined. People need to maintain the social distances anywhere they go to and everywhere they find themselves, so as to curtail the spread of this deadly pandemic called coronavirus. Thank you.
Just before I let you go, I want you to expatiate. The ban on interstate movement has been lifted as approved by the federal government between up to the curfew time from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Please, can you explain that? It means we can travel outside Abia between...
You can travel 10 p.m. to 10 p.m. You cannot. It's a federal directive.
So what about interstate movement? Now, we understand that as it stands now, from the previous protocol, tricycle operators operate between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. But what is the latest development?
You can move now up to the coffee period.
Okay. Thank you very much, Barrister Chris Ezem, for speaking to us this morning.
All our medics, all our frontline workers, the medics, the health workers, the security operatives, government enforcement teams and local government enforcement teams, particularly our press, and you good guys, you've been doing a very good work in trying to educate people and keeping this program alive. We're so grateful to the press, to the media, volunteer organizations, and all Abians generally for their cooperations and understanding. And particularly the religious leaders, clergymen, and the civil society. They have done a good job in this regards. We thank everybody and God bless them as they continue to stay safe and obey COVID-19 protocols. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Chris Ezem. This is Abia COVID-19 Update.
Abia COVID-19 Update.
Well, it is still Abia State COVID-19 updates live on several radio stations in this state: BCA FM, Flow FM, Vision Africa Radio, Buzz FM, and Real FM. I hope you followed that conversation I had earlier today with Barrister Chris Ezem. Just in case you joined late, I will highlight some of those important things you should know from that release from the government. The ban on interstate movement has been lifted as approved by the federal government up to the curfew time from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. And on intrastate, that's the within the state, intrastate transport, keke operators are to carry maximum of 2 persons, minibuses, that's the Okebeke, maximum of 5, And also, burials, weddings, and other public gatherings must be approved by the Office of the SSG upon application made through the TC chairman of the applicable local government. No such gathering must exceed 50 persons, and the necessary COVID-19 protocol must be observed. Leaders of churches meant to preside over such event or events are requested to obtain further information from the Office of the Secretary to the Abia State Government. Also, markets, this is very important. Markets are now to operate Mondays through Fridays. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. From 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Market enforcement teams are to ensure that all COVID-19 protocols strictly apply in all our markets. Compulsory provision of washing facilities, regular fumigation, compulsory wearing of face mask, which will be inspected 3 times per week by the state task force and enforced every day by the market enforcement committee. And also, in line with the federal government directives, the Ministry of Education is currently working out modalities for the reopening of schools, particularly for primary 6, JSS 3 and SS 3 students in the state. So government is still warning that anybody running classes or study center contrary to the state government directive will be prosecuted. So it's very important, because such center should approach the Honorable Commissioner for Education for guidelines and necessary accreditation. Otherwise, they stand the risk of permanent closure and prosecution. So it's very important, because you follow some of these protocols. The government will soon make public a new enforcement regime for compulsory use of face masks. So as you're stepping out, it is also very important you make use of your face mask. I will throw the lines open now for you to participate and make your contributions right here on the platform this morning on Abia State COVID-19 update. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. Good morning to you.
No, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Chris. I'm calling from Abia State.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, my take on this about the coronavirus. I want to ask, other countries have opened their border. What about Nigeria? What are they saying about it?
Which of the borders? Are you talking about the interstate borders or the national border?
Yeah.
Which of the borders? All right, you have to be very specific. As it stands now, there is a gradual easing of the lockdown. We're in the second phase, which has been extended. I mentioned that on this program. That was on Monday, as directed by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome. What's your name?
I'm calling from Umaya.
You're welcome.
I want to thank Abia State government for all the proactive measures they have given. I still believe that Abia remains one of the states that have been busy sensitizing people about this coronavirus, both in radio media, social medias, and radio offices. So I want to encourage them, and even palliative that they have given to people. So I applaud the government of Abia State. Then for opening of lockdown, I still want to applaud them for doing it, but I want to ask the XXG to look into the issue of time of keke operators. As they've mentioned, I heard him when he mentioned that the market has been extended from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if keke operators are to operate to stop by 4 p.m., those marketers it still affect them when they close for their businesses to Like if they close by 4 or by 5 o'clock, if they can't get access to keke operators or motorists to go home. So I want to beg them they should extend the keke operators' time.
Okay, I think that has been extended. I put that question across to the SSG during that conversation, and he said that also covers the curfew period. So that has been addressed.
They cannot be riding from now till 9 o'clock, what used to be before now.
I believe so. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Mado Edward, aka Editor-in-Chief / Iron Pillar. This morning I call from the group of Aliki Kinanzobo.
You're welcome. What's your contribution?
Yeah, honestly, I thank the SSG for his explanation. He made it clearly and clear that these are the way it should be. But actually, it won't be like that. The masses cannot follow it up. And what people like is enforcement. Tomorrow they will say police have done this, police have done that. People refuse to do what they are supposed to do. But what I want to say there is that let the government be so proactive on finding exactly the solving way of this case. Now that they have locked down, they have relaxed all the lockdown. Let them now come up and be so proactive. Not every day the case increases, but to treat is very, very hard. So I want to use the medium to thank Abia for the way they now extend the keke from 7 p.m. to that of 5 p.m. From 7 a.m. to that of 5 p.m. And also let them help mostly on the way of controlling the masses amicably. Like they say that keke should carry 2. The other day that was in Omaya, keke we are carrying more than 2, and most of them are not wearing face mask. And I'm not happy with that. So let them take proactive measure. Also, like you said here.
Okay, wrap up the thought, please.
But we are taking a proactive measure to control it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yes, my name is Richard Okoro.
Okay,
I'm
you're welcome,
from
Richard.
Here.
Mr. Richard Okoro, you're welcome.
Thank you, my man. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Yes, I listened to the the SSG. But there's a place I know I'm not really comfortable with. He said that they are opening the borders and that the thermometers will be made available. That means they are working towards providing that. So I was thinking that thermometers would have been ready before the opening of the interstate borders. Yes,
I'm listening.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Yes,
that will be directed to him.
I know that the state government has been doing much in trying to sensitize and also provide PPE equipment for the frontline workers. But the thermometers would have been ready before opening the interstate border. That's my observation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your observation, Richard Okoro. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, please, I want to comment on the reopening of schools.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Mr. Joseph Ukeje.
Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you. You see, if you look at our market is highly crowded to the extent that our children, you see, they're almost exposed to the market because you see them hawking around, making contact with foreigners. But I believe if the school is reopened, you discover that they'll be taken care of adequately. The teachers will be watching them, and their solution will be well. And in fact, they will be taken care of properly and carefully managed than exposing them to the market. So that is my comment. Thank you,
all right.
Sir.
Thank you very much. And that's how far we can go this morning on the program. The program returns tomorrow anyways, and also on all the platforms. This is not a time to panic. It is a time to take responsibility and prevent further transmission of the virus. The power to stop the spread is in our hands and Nigerians. So the simple act of washing your hands with soap and water or using an alcohol-based sanitizer can prevent thousands of deaths. So Do what you can to keep yourself and everyone around you safe, especially those who may be more susceptible to infection, including the elderly and those with existing health conditions. We must all consider the consequences of our actions in this critical time. Thank you very much for being part of the program this morning, and many thanks to the partner radio stations. My name is Michael Oni.
This is Abia COVID-19 update.
Abia COVID-19 update.